Yes, guys. Hope everyone is doing well, having a great morning so far. Let's talk price action. So, today we've seen a sweep of London highs, and I've marked out the key levels for price action today. We've got bearish buys and a shift in market structure, an inverse of a bullish order block paired with the gap. ES fails the model and trades towards the high, and NQ trades lower to take out the New York Open low. So, price shifted market structure, took out the New York Open low, which is a point of sell side to invalidate a major invalidation area for price. Okay, SMT at the high as it currently stands, with ES taking the high, and we are currently looking for shorts. So what we've actually seen here is a sweep of the New York Open low. Price traded higher, has now taken the short-term high, and this SMT here, the New York Open low, is what I wanted to see for ES to then take this high. Now this is perfect because we've now seen a resweep of buy side. So this New York Open low is now, we can fade this out. Essentially, it means that we wouldn't have taken this short because we took the New York Open low. Now we've retraced up with that bullish SMT on ES. Take buy side. Now we can shift. So now we're looking for a shift below this low on ES, this low on NQ. Is NQ likely to trade towards the high? Not a problem if it does. Our bias is still bearish, okay, and we are looking for shorts regardless. And we shall see if we get an opportunity in this first day of macro for shorts. So many people who trade the ICT 2022 model, they'd be very inclined to be taking a short at 945 off that bearish gap. It's very obvious to note during backtesting sessions that you would enjoy would be that New York Open lower high to be swept during a shift is a non-valid position. It's very important. That is now a major point of liquidity that's been swept. So make sure you always mark out your New York Open high and low on the 1 minute time frame after 9:30, and price shifted through the New York Open low. This is a very probable scenario for price to fail the model in front of you. Backtest that. Very, very true, and very much probability does not lie profitably in your favor at all. Price trades back into this bullish order block and trades higher, and obviously you can see it has now reached short-term highs. It is taking liquidity as we speak. ES already took the high, so the main draw on NQ is not actually this high. We've already taken it on ES. So whether NQ takes it or not doesn't affect us, but ES has already taken that point of liquidity. So for example, if we shift lower in market structure below this low, that's perfectly fine. We'd look for shorts and we'd be looking at this point of sell side here. So the draw today is 118.75. We're looking for shorts, bearish buy, sweep of London highs. Very simple. So at any points, if you have a serious question, then just at me in the chat. So make sure you at me for any serious questions that people want to ask during the stream. More than willing to answer all of you guys' questions. It's not a problem at all. So I marked on the hourly time frame, we got this hourly bearish gap, which would strengthen a bearish bias. We already still have a bearish bias regardless. This would strengthen our bearish bias, more higher time frame here, from taking this hourly bearish gap, which you can see is located to the left. So it proves you trade into it, and we have this one here. So hourly is currently neutral till that area. Trading out of a 5 minute bearish gap, a 15 minute bearish gap, which you can see. Not that one. Where is it? That's not the 15, that's the 5. The 15 that we was trading out of was this one, and it inversed and took the high, so the 15's neutral. I'm just gonna... So it's neutral right now from looking at it, but we have to locate to the left to see, so... This is gonna be... up to 239. Okay, so 239, 15 is still bearish for the next 9 minutes and 30 seconds. delete New York open low, it's not relevant anymore, but leave it on ES because it's still a resting point of sell side. The reason why you don't mark SMTs until the model's in place is because your SMT can essentially just continue and continue. So I'll remove it as of now. We know we've taken a short-term high. If we see a shift, that'll be good because we have formed a low on NQ with a bullish order block and a low on ES as well. So we'll be looking for a shift lower in market structure here. I'm just going to check Forex Factory because I haven't looked at it for today. Yeah, the news basically has already been released at 8:30 AM. Unemployment claims already came out. And we're looking at Thursday tomorrow, which is bank holiday. So we're not trading tomorrow. We are trading on Friday. Monitoring. So right now we would actually take shorts if we get a gap paired with this bullish order block and a shift on both assets. Okay, starting to get a shift on NQ. Starting to get a shift on ES. If we form a bearish gap here, I'll take shorts. 1 hour is still neutral, 5 still bearish, 15 still bearish, 4 hours still bearish. If we form a bearish gap here, we take shorts. So our draw on this position would be this low and sell side. The overall draw to be sell side as opposing liquidity. And if we was to take a position as shorts, then likely target is going to be any one of these 1 minute lows and overall draw to be sell side. So that's a shift on both assets. If this candle closes to form a bearish gap, we'll be taking a short. Invalidation is going to be this low on NQ and ES. Let's look at current stop placement, presuming this gap stays open. So it'll be a 37 handle stop. We're looking at a 2 to 1. That's a 1.7, 1.8, 1.84, 2 to 1. Oh, that's low. Okay, so slightly changed our stop placement to 35 points. Alright, this is valid, I'm taking a short. Alright, we're taking a short of this bearish gap if we get a tap. So I'll wait for a tap on either NQ or ES, and we will take a short of this bearish gap if we get an entry. So 34.75 handle stop placement. We will look at our TP in a slight second, but it might be slightly higher. Invalidation low is this one. So you can mark it as IV. Okay, so no tap on ES just yet, no tap on NQ. Our entry would be at 245.50. So we're just waiting for price to trade back into that area. Okay, so obviously price traded out of this bearish order block as of now. So this position's still fine. It only becomes invalid from taking this low. So essentially a early stop early entry with ES tapping the gap, this would actually give us a very over exaggerated stop placement and TP. So essentially we want NQ to be around this bearish order block and ES to tap the gap. That's my earliest entry I will take if ES taps the gap. So I want this bearish order block 237 would be my earliest if ES taps the gap. But we're trading out the bearish order block right now. Seems to be no entry as of now. Alright, so basically price action has already traded to be taking out this low. Hasn't taken our invalidation low yet. So obviously this is first presented gap, but this stop placement is not what we're looking for. So FPF is at 22275. It's currently trading out of this breaker block, which you can see. Yeah, that's going to be it. It's going to take the low. Yeah. Alright. We just took this low. Let me reamp the bias. So if we look at the 5-minute time frame, you can see it was bearish. It took the low, so the 5 minutes now going to be neutral. And as far as bullish gaps, that's where the 5 would go bullish, which is now. Same goes for the 15. Same goes for the hourly. Uh, 160.50, so 160.75, yeah. 4 hours bullish as well. 80%, no, 100% bullish bias. So essentially what this means for us is we've seen a sweeper sell side with a bullish bias. So preferably if we get a sweep of this sell side with our bullish bias, then we can look for longs and a retracement on this move lower. So our preferred entry was actually a short. It was just a couple ticks from an entry, so we didn't take it. And then essentially first presented gap, stop placement was too enlarged, and then we was waiting for an entry on ES, so it just essentially didn't give an entry. Are you guys in short? What is this? What is this shit? I'm in short. You're gay. Why are you guys crying? Okay, we already spoke about being gay. No one's gay inside this group. Okay, we wait for the model and didn't give an entry. I didn't even read the chat. I don't know if you guys could tell, but the first 15 minutes of the live stream I didn't read the chat, and I'm going to continue not reading the chat unless someone asks me with a serious question, because I don't give two flying rats about people talking about whether we got an entry or not. You'll see if we get an entry. If I take a position, I took the position. It's not. I didn't miss nothing. I've been doing this for 3.5 years, and I've made over. I don't even know how much I've made now, but I don't need to look at someone to say if I've missed an entry or not. Yeah, apologies for starting the stream a little bit late today. I was suffering with extreme stomach pain. It came back again. So I just basically took medication, and it's calmed down before the stream slightly. Yeah, I got a stomach infection. That's what I had. I thought I had food poisoning, but I actually read the medical report. I had a stomach infection and severe dehydration. And the stomach infection, I stopped taking the medication, and because I thought it was recovered, but it all came back. Then I just took the medication about an hour and a half ago, and it's all calmed down. Well, 60%, still 40% there. It's calming down by the minute. It all came back again because I stopped the medication. I started the bulk. I tried bulking again, and I just got pretty cooked. But it doesn't stop us, you know. So essentially what we're looking at right now is a sweeper sell side, and if we've seen a shift on both assets, then we can actually take a long off a bearish order block paired with a bullish gap towards hourly highs. And this high potentially wouldn't be a draw because we'd shift above this high, but ES doesn't actually have a high to shift above as of now. Yeah, top step X is down. Don't worry too much about it. Focus on your other accounts. I don't know why Top Step doesn't introduce the rule for T1 trading like the rest of the prop firms. They're really suffering each month. Every time CPI comes out, they're losing a lot of money from people taking advantage of their prop firm. It's just a very simple fix. Who trades CPI and knows the result? No one. So you're not a profitable trader. They should introduce T1 trading rules. I don't know why they haven't. People are just abusing it. T1 trading rules is essentially you can't trade during CPI, so 1 minute before, 1 minute after. So that's CPI, that's any sort of red folder news that comes out, you can't trade during that period. It's normal, you shouldn't be trading during red folder news. That's the same on my funded futures. They have that rule on fund accounts. They also have that on the take profit trader. You know, every prop firm has this, apart from Top Step, and they're losing hundreds, well, millions a month from it. Okay, so if we shift market structure above this previous short-term high, it's going to give us a bearish order block. Inverse paired with a gap, so we'd actually take a long. We've got a bullish bias. Don't know what's wrong with my stomach. I might rip it out and buy another one at this point because I don't have time to waste sitting around. Stomach problem. I reckon in 100 or 200 years you can just buy another one. You know, we think we've got time to sit there. It's currently acting as a bearish order block, so essentially a shift above this high. We'd very much look for a run on buy stops and a position towards an hourly high, minor buy side. What I'll actually do is move this shift. So this, there you go. So we're starting to get a shift on ES. So this. Okay, so nice clean shift on ES and NQ. If we form a gap here, I'll be taking a long. Price swept sell side, trades back into more of a discount, bullish bias. 5 trades to being bearish. Okay, so we're looking at a B plus long. We're looking at 15 bullish, hourly bullish, 1 hour bullish. So it's a full bullish bias. We'll be taking a long here. Run on buy stops. Buy stops 100% at the highs. Stop placement 60 points. Okay, so bear that in mind. Be a 60 point dropping by the second. 54. So your 30 handle stop to be halved. So there's some hourly highs around this area, so that's what we would look at as a target. This would be with 15 contracts. See if we get an entry here. ES taps it, I'm in for a long. So that's a half position size of 30. And then I'm going to be looking at hourly highs. Okay, so this is the high that I was referencing, 1.93. Okay, so let's see how we manage this position. Essentially, the first short-term high, we trail our stops, and then work forward from there. Okay, so we've just put in this first short-term high. This is the inverse bearish order block that you can see. So this is actually a mitigation block, which is paired with the gap on NQ. Same goes for ES, 2 mitigations paired with the gap. Shift in market structure on both assets following a bullish bias and sweeper sell side. It doesn't get simpler than that. Now we just look at trade management. So essentially this first short-term high is where we trail our stops to the previous low. And then we'd look at 50%, so using the fib tool from our TP to break even, we'd just be looking at 50%. Price creates a bullish gap or takes a high past 50%, then we'd trail our stops to break even. And disregard trade result, perfect execution. Now it's about trade management and how we close out November. Currently we're closing out minus 2.4R. And then tomorrow we're not taking any positions because it's bank holiday, and Friday we monitor price as it's a normal day to monitor price on the Friday. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Always remember that you can choose to take your own positions. I'm just doing my job. So if you can't do simple maths, then you need to attend math class, because As far as risk management, if you're on the risk management funded section and you look at 30 handles, 5 micros, you take this position with 3 micros. 2 to 3 micros, and you can calculate the dollar amount from your entry. That's how you calculate it. So essentially, with this 1 minute candle closing, as you can see, this would actually put in a short-term high. So it means that we'll be able to trail stops the previous low, essentially not moving our stops at all until we create a previous low. But this would be our new trail stops on this candle closure here, so you can move this now. It doesn't mean that you would trail stops at all until this candle closes above and puts in a short-term low, which would give us a 50% decrease on risk, essentially. So nothing as of now. Okay, so price actually takes out the first short-term high. I'm actually looking at this one because this one is very much actually below our original entry. So I want price to take out this short-term high. I'm not interested in trading stops as of now. So as of now, we're currently trading between 2 different order blocks, so a bullish order block and a bearish order block. One will get disrespected, and as far as us monitoring price, as of now, it's absolute perfection. We have executed and structured everything in a way which is perfect. Too many of you guys are focusing too much of your time on top step. You need to have multiple prop firms, okay? So no one should ever have an issue. One prop firm will go down sometimes, you know, it happens quite frequently. So just make sure you're running different prop firms. It's very important. So you can see here we're starting to enter into a slight accumulation period where price action is deciding between both bullish and bearish order blocks as of now, both being respected. So essentially we're just looking at an accumulation, slight accumulation period. TS on ES? No, there is no reason. We don't look at ES for trading stops. Essentially, I would only manage my position differently if ES was to take very close towards the objective. Then I'd trail my stops and then queue slightly more aggressively. But when price action enters into a period like this, and we take highs and we take short-term lows like this, it's not good to trail your stops and use this as a point to trail stops, because essentially this low has no meaning to trail to. You can see it's wick below this low. It would have taken people out of positions. There's still sell stops resting below, buy stops resting above, so essentially obviously it's a slight period of accumulation. But there's never a point to speculate. You just have to look to see what you would do as price trades up in favor. You only ever assume when you take a position that price trades in favor, and then you base your decisions based on what would happen if it was to trade above this high. if it was to trade above this high. So that's the only thing that you have to look at. So we will be getting an updated P&L statement for November as we get into this USD bank holiday as well. Just edging the stop there, got relatively close, about 1.5 handles there. Essentially price is taken out this low, so trailing your stops this low, you wouldn't want to trail your stops. You just leave it at the current stop. So if we trade now to take this and put a bearish order block in, then fine, then we've been taken out of the position. But that's essentially why you wouldn't trail to this low, is because price is trading below break even. Alright, cool, so we got taken out of that position, so minus 1R. This is minus 3.4R on the month. Right, let me look at this P&L on the month. Right, so we're going to be waiting for this next macro. Okay, so far this month. Wait, that's an incorrect. One sec. Just working out my P&L. Alright, so currently this month I'm down $90,483. Last month I made $500. To $200,500. So October Q4 P&Ls around $110,000, which is actually quite similar to last year. But this year I've got more capital. 483 18 minus 3.4R. Right, there you go. I'm going to upload this in the group now so you guys can see this. I want you guys to backtest these positions. I want you guys to thoroughly look back through this month as what I do as well. So make sure you conduct this all. And I'll update it if we take another position today. So we're looking at the second day of macro and the lunch. We're looking for a second position. One sec, let me update this because tomorrow no positions as well because it is a bank holiday. Alright, cool. So we've got 2 more macros on Friday for November. Alright guys, take a look at this P&L inside of the P&L channel. I'm going to add everyone inside of the group as well. I'm just working out this quarter. Okay. Yeah, so October we made 8R. 200,000, $448.84. And then this month I've lost 90,000, 483. 18. Okay, so I'm currently up in this final quarter of the year, $109,965.66, which results in a 3.4 to 8, 4.6R profit. And Q4. So we're currently waiting for the second day of macro, so I'm just updating the P&L channel. So we're also going to be looking at December to see how December pushes up our final Q4 result, to see if I can work up towards 250,000 to 300k mark by Q4. There you go, there's current Q4 results posted inside the P&L. Okay, so looking at 1045, we're looking at our bias and also the status of ES, trading quite close towards this point of buy side here. So that would lean us back towards a bearish bias. Make sure you look at this hourly high on NQ to see if the hourly trade's bearish there, because right now the hourly is still going to be trading bullish. So you can see the 5 minute right now is bullish. And the 15 is still bullish as well, so we need buy side. Hourly is still bullish, so is the 4 hour as well. So the 4 hour was briefly bullish, but it's actually changed to being bearish. Daily remains the same. Still a bullish bias, so the bias is still bullish towards this high. So I'll delete our previous edits to clean things up slightly. That's that 5 minute. So essentially we inverse the 5 minute bearish gap traded into this one, so bearish. So it's neutral. We want buy side there because that would be a strong bearish bias. Yeah. Okay, so nothing as of now. Going in the second day of macro. Bias currently sits as neutral. We get a more comfortable bias at buy side. Okay, so nothing as of now on the second day of macro. Still looking for more of a sweep of buy side. See, bearish bias on the 5. Trades down bullish to be neutral. Nothing as of yet. We want price to trade towards buy side. Directional bias for both scenarios. First, macro was absolutely spot on. Position entry got filled on second position. Position entry 1 didn't get filled. Both directional bias was correct. Price just traded towards the low and took us out of the position, which is fine. And this one didn't get filled by a couple ticks. Trades towards TP. This one takes us out by a couple ticks. Ends up trading into a profit. Into a point of break even. You could say the least. Execution was absolutely spot on. Everything is great. This whole month has been 10-10. October we made one mistake. Even though we closed up 8R, I'm still pissed off from last month because it was an error which was avoidable, not according to the model, which was meant to result in a 9R month, essentially costing me 25k. And this position was taken on around week 2 or 3 of October. It was a -1R position. It was not meant to be taken. But that was also the same position that I got scammed by one of my friends for $70,000. So hence why I accidentally took a position outside of macro 30 seconds out. Still closed the month in a profit. Last month should have been 225k for me, but it was 200. Who scammed me? Well, I haven't put it on my social media, but it was actually the person I took a photo of the Rolls Royce. The mixed race. He's half black. I did a vlog. You guys might have seen it on YouTube. I did a vlog and he was in the vlog. It was from Miami to Texas drive. And yes, he scammed. You know, everyone's got a price point pretty much. Only certain people don't have price points. You know, I don't have price points for anyone. Some people do. So that's what happened. It's perfectly fine. It's not. I'm not phased. I'm not bothered by it. You know. Curly hair. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, long curly hair. You can see on my Instagram. You know, there's a photo sat in the Rolls Royce. That's the one. Don't worry about it, guys. It's not a big problem. Junior question mark. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, junior. So 5 trades back to being bearish there. You've got to remember, guys, there's always a circle and you don't want to be the person at the top. Okay, that's one bit of advice that I've learnt through my life. I always knew this from the start. Just make sure you know it yourself. You have a circle of people, make sure you're not the one at the top bringing the circle up. Make sure you're in a circle mixed of people above and below you. And as men, we do business together. We don't, you know, that's how you got to look at things. You have to be with people who are below you and people who are above you. You don't essentially want to be the person who's helping everyone all of the time. Don't start spamming people's DMs either. You know, whatever happens with me and other people, just leave it as that, because if there's something I deal with it myself. I don't want people blowing up other people's DMs, as whether I don't like someone or I like someone or not. You know, just make sure you don't start spamming other people's DMs, you know, regardless on the situation. Just leave it as that. If people make a mistake or they intentionally, obviously it's not a mistake, everyone has an intentional decision, and if that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do, you know. And if it's over some cash, then I'm not fazed by it. I like to see respect over money, all cases, you know. If it exceeds a certain dollar amount, then it gets more serious. But at the same time, money doesn't cause me to act in a violent way, you know. Well, if I seen him in person, I'd knock him out on the spot, but didn't get to experience that moment because he left the country. But I'm not going to go out my way for it, for any dollar amount. You got to learn from your past. You can't be the same as your past, otherwise you're never going to have a future. You know, 3 years ago I would have. But I'm not the same anymore. You need to read more about the Bible. Understand who you actually are and what you're working towards, and that money is not the objective but the route for freedom. So we'll be looking at this 15-minute closure. It would change the bias from being bearish to bullish to the buy side, which would then change it back to being bearish if we trade into the hourly bearish gap. So we have 1 minute on 15 still being bearish. Essentially seeing a shift lower market structure on this candle is what we're looking for. ES takes buy side. Okay, so we swept buy side. and the 15 is bullish. Took the high and it's neutral. SMT at the high. NQ will still likely take buy side. Directional bias towards buy side being the draw was 100% correct. Directional bias of being bearish towards sell side was 100% correct. Both scenarios absolutely to the T. Scenario 1, as we explained. Scenario 2, you can see what happened of that result. So we're currently looking for shorts. It's a neutral hourly now as well, which puts it as 100% bearish bias. Okay, so that's the end of the second day of macro. Waiting for the lunch. So 11:45. I want to see an accumulation period after this run up from our previous bias and position of longs. We're actually looking for an accumulation period, slightly taking the hourly high and a sweep of buy side again. It's not a problem. We've already swept buy side, and then in the lunch we will see what price presents. I'll speak to you guys shortly. Okay, so as we're waiting for this lunch macro, I'll speak to you guys about one topic which is circulating at the moment. You might want to know about it, whether it's true or not. I guess you'll find out in December, and whether it is completely released in December, we'll see. But whether Jeffrey Epstein is the creator of Bitcoin. You may or may not already know this, but this is something circulating in the crypto space. Deep down, which no one really actually looks at. That's why people have him down as such a powerful person, because he is the creator of Bitcoin and owns majority of the crypto space, which everything does add up as well at the same time. They say that he has a strong connection with very valuable people in the space, BlackRock, etc., Goldman Sachs, billionaires, right? If billionaires are worried and concerned, tells you everything. Out of all the people who have speculated deaths as well, obviously we're talking speculation here, but this is a quite strong speculation. You can't speculate other people to still be alive apart from Epstein. He is not dead. There is no death. 100%. But the files are released in December. Trump signed the files to be released in December, but only a part of the files. Whether it affects Bitcoin's price, it'd be very interesting. It's actually only going to affect Bitcoin's price. The only case it can affect Bitcoin's price is actually negatively. So if I'm still in a Bitcoin short by that time and then Bitcoin trades to 20k, then, you know, we are actually going to be in a substantial profit. Bitcoin's trading at 87.6. You can see how I'm still in Bitcoin shorts as of now. My Stop loss at break even. Just 118k. MI6. MI6, not the CIA. But you need to do more research, because if you do too much research, it's actually very good, because you're going to understand what type of world you're currently in, because 99% of people don't actually know what world you're living in. You know, well, let's put it like this. 90% of you or 95% of you are going to think Hitler's bad. Hitler's a great person. Very, very smart person. Predicted the whole future of what we're living in right now. But from what you've been taught at school, you're then going to say that Hitler's bad. You need to do your research before you come and speak on that topic. I've already researched everything. You seriously really have to understand. Well, your question, where is it? The real question, did he go to Antarctica? Well, it's not a silly question that you've just asked there. Well, if you actually look at Hitler and his mission, and what his actual mission was nothing that what you guys think about killing Jews. So essentially Jews did get killed. So that's a true thing. Jews did get killed. 6 million Jews? No. It was not 6 million Jews. So you need to look at the bigger picture. And after World War II, at what date did Antarctica become off limits? 1959, after World War II. I'm not moving mad. You're uneducated if you don't understand these topics. You've been brainwashed. But seriously, research it. You really need to research it. Look at the translated speeches from Hitler. Research Jeffrey Epstein. Not the files, not the news-related articles, but actually look at his relation towards Bitcoin. And there's a specific billionaire. Let me double check, one sec. Let me get his name. Yeah, his name is Dan Pena. Pena. So he's a billionaire, and he stated that Bitcoin would go to zero many, many years ago. He knows the person behind Bitcoin, and obviously he wouldn't say it, because he would get killed. Also, a deal between Germany and Israel was that the military supply from Germany was cut off over the last day. That was completely cut off towards Israel, and all of the supplies were cut off, and also tariffs have been placed or are being placed on Israel from Germany. Now, I'm not too educated on the whole Israel and that situation, but as far as what's going to affect our pockets personally, on what's going to make us money, is the Jeffrey Epstein situation, and also essentially understanding Hitler's background. So if you want to learn about generic space and not speculative crypto space, you want to learn from this person. On YouTube, you want to watch this username. Streams live every day. Make sure you tune in and watch this on YouTube. It will give you a lot of information to current federal meetings, results from meetings, all updates to do with the crypto market. Both. Fuck! I just fucked my knee up. Oh shit! Oh my god! I just hit my knee into my desk. Anyway, so yeah, it'll give you updates on the Bitcoin price, everything to do in the crypto space, which is affecting price, big purchases, and also people selling off. He is a very overly bullish. So don't listen to him saying that price is going to recover. You need to understand what he's telling you and make your own decision based off that. It's just only a confluence and information that's put your way. So I advise watching him. Okay, so waiting towards this lunch macro, we are looking at still likely a bearish bias, which I'm going to do in a second, but I'm going to play you guys this 1 minute clip and you can actually listen to it for yourself. You would have already heard this. This is an old clip, but this is very much essentially information that has been not really listened to by the public and covered up.
If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you fucking could to sell it. I know. 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
And a microsecond, like that.
There you have it. That's a billionaire speaking there with confidence like that about a certain topic, which there is no advantage to him financially to lie about a certain topic. That clip was from over 5 years ago. There is no financial benefit to say that on live TV at all, financially. It's a risk. And he took the risk. So obviously first position didn't give an entry, runs to TP. Second position ends up taking out the low, which our stop was resting at, and then runs over 400 points. 300, well, 250, 300 points. So now we're trading into more of a premium as we approach this last macro. I'm going to reevaluate our bias. Alright, so as of now there's no positions in this lunch macro, as you can see. We're still looking for a shift lower market structure following a higher time frame and intraday bearish bias. If you look on a 5 minute, yes, it shifts towards being bullish, but it does not change our overall bias. It's still bearish. As far as your question, you know about Snowden, the guy who from America. Yes, the NSA surveillance that got basically leaked. Is that who you're talking about? In 2013? He lives in, I swear he lives in, off the top of my head, Russia. Jack R717, that is a good message you put in the chat. A respectful message. At the same time, the only reason we ended up discussing about certain topics is because it might affect our dollar amount and portfolio positions that we currently have open. So I thought I'd bring it up and speak to people about whether they're going to make money or blow their whole accounts. So it's an interesting topic we won't talk about anymore. So still following a bearish bias, we would still be actively looking as of now for a shift in market structure, which as of now we haven't seen. And then to end the topic of what we was previously talking about, everything leads back towards the Bible. And I'll end it on that. That's it. We got Rob G commented PA. What exactly shall we do with price action? I'm going to pull up to the federal board in my robe and demand a shift in market structure. I demand a shift. What colour do you think I should get the next robe? Because obviously I've had this red robe for a little bit of time, and I was thinking of switching it up to a different colour. What do you guys think? Black. Yeah, I was thinking black. I don't know if they do it, but actually, yeah, I'll probably go for a purple or a black. I'll get black and purple. I think purple's the one. I always represent purple colour. Purple's my colour. I don't know what it is, but it's always, you know, I wrap the Rolls Royce purple. My shoes are purple. So shift below this low on NQ and ES is what we're actually looking for. Run on sell stops. Is Apex consistent with payouts as long as you follow their rules? Yes. Okay, we're starting to see a shift in market structure on NQ and ES here. This is our bullish order block. Okay, so essentially this shift has taken a 5-minute low. So there'll be nothing for us on this given position. Are we taking that question mark? No, because there's an SMT at 5-minute low. Price took a 5-minute low, which invalidated the trade. John C, where is it? If ES took that low, would the trade still be invalid? Well, yes, that's the whole point with price taking that low, yes. It's invalid from taking the low. So if ES or NQ or both took the low, then it's invalid. You know, it's like if one person got killed or 2 people got killed, still someone got killed, so it's not okay. You know, price action took the 5-minute low on NQ, but not on ES. Same thing. There's my extreme example, but essentially, yes, we took the 5-minute low, so we don't take the position. Where was the market structure shift? First low. Price is still shifting below this bullish PD rate. Price then took the 5-minute low on the same candle. I mean, many of you guys are always going to jump out of your chairs whenever you see, you know, coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and you would potentially take a position, get stopped out, runs in your favour, or you see a position, you don't get an entry. You can spin around in your chair as much times as you want, but by the end of the year you need a probable scenario and the same execution every single time. When it comes to explaining price action and working through the New York session, I am the most boring person that you could ever listen to in your entire life, but I'm giving you guys the truth. The absolute divine truth of what's going to make you money. Simple as that. Otherwise, I would pump out a short now, I'd pump out a long earlier, take a short off the bearish order block. Okay. I can have winning trades all over my social media. Do you think I give a flying rat? Alright, that's the end of the lunch macro, guys. So we took one position today, which resulted in -1R, which are full November P&L, full transparency as usual of what we put inside of the group. You can see our full P&L on November and October, and also Q4 current results. So take a look at it, backtest it, and do your research on topics that we spoke about today, whether you didn't like it or not. I think it's very important that everyone is educated on controversial topics. And I will speak to you guys on Friday for the New York AM session. Inside of the AM session today, obviously Thursday we're going into, you can see at the top right of my screen, so it's currently quarter past midnight, so 16 minutes past midnight. Thursday, we're not trading on Thursday, we're not monitoring price because it's a bank holiday and we don't trade USD bank holidays, but we shall monitor the Friday and see what price action has to present for us for the last day of the month. Okay, it's been great speaking with you guys today, and I'll speak to you guys on Friday.